Hi coders, hope all of you are doing great. So in this project, we're going to build this amazing counting app. So let me show you that how it's work. So the moment I will click on this count, it will increase the number. No matter how many times you click on this, it will keep increasing the number. And if I click on this reset button, it will reset everything. So this is what we're going to learn in today's project, and I have divided this video in three parts. First, we're going to write down all the HTML code for this project. Second, we're going to do the styling of this UI, and third, we're going to add the JavaScript for bringing the functionality. So if you want to check any one of these section, you can simply skip that part and you can watch that part only. So now let me take you to my Visual Code Studio and show you everything practically, that how you can build this amazing counting app. So here you are in my Visual Code Studio. As you can see that I have nothing here. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to generate the boilerplate. So I'll give this exclamation mark and I'll hit the tab. And here I'm going to type counting app. Let me create the style tag. And I'm going to write all my JavaScript, all my style in the same HTML document, because it's very few lines of code we have to write for HTMLs and CSS and for the JavaScript as well. So I'm not going to link any external file. If you want, you can do it. So I'm going to write all my CSS right up here, and my JavaScript is going to be here in the script tag. So here you can see in this UI that I'm following a particular pattern. The first one is I'm using the same color throughout my UI. I'm using this icon, this color. So let me quickly grab this colors, this box shadows, the variables which I have already created, and let me paste into my document. So here you can see that I have included my variables. So I'm using icon. So I'm using this website for dragging the icons. All these codes are available on my website, so you can simply go to the JavaScript section on my website, and there you can able to find this project, and you can able to find this code if you want to use the same one. But I would recommend you to code along with me, and that will help you and give you a better understanding. So here the link I'm using for the icons, and this is the global variable which I'm using for my color. So the very first thing I want to do, let me just quickly open with this in the live server. And as you can see, I have nothing here in my document. So the very first thing I want to do, let's do some global settings. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to remove the padding and margin from my browser. So I'll margin 0, padding 0, box sizing is going to be border box. And now let's do some styling to my body tag. So I'll body, and the very first thing I want to do is I want to provide a background color to my body tag, and it's going to be this global variables I have defined for the color. So I'll simply save it. As you can see, the color is changed. Now what I want to do, I want to make everything in centralized. As you can see in the demo one here, what I'm doing, that I'm bringing everything, the entire container, into the center. So let me do that quickly. So for that, what I can do, I can say top is going to be 50%, and left is going to be, you say, 50%. Transform, translate is going to be -50 from x coordinate and -50 from y coordinate. If I save, as you can see, nothing is displaying because I haven't created that. And I can do one more thing. I want to provide the position is to be absolute. So absolute. So everything is done for the body part. Now let's come here in the body and let's write the code. So what I want to do, I want to create a container, and everything I'm going to place inside the container. So I'll say con container. So inside the container, what I will do, the very first thing I want to do, I want to take another div. Inside that, I'm going to have all my, like, the count box, the buttons, and the title and icons. So what I will do, I'll say, and inside this I'm going to create a div, and this div will call info, and inside this I'm going to use an icon or a h1 tag for displaying like this icon and h1 tag. So what I will do, let me quickly import the icon, and here I'm going to paste the icon, and I'm also using a h1 tag where I'm simply come here and I'll copy the text and come here, and inside this I'll take the h1 tag and I paste simply. So if I come to my original one, this is how it's looking. Info div. Now I'll create another div. Inside that I'm going to add my this count one. So I'll create a h1 tag with the id of, let's say, count, and initially it will be 0. So I'll say 0 because I'm going to tweak this with the help of JavaScript. So right now this is how it's looking. Now I want one more div where I'm going to place all my buttons. So what I will do here, I'll create a container with the class of, let's say, button. So button, and inside this I'm going to have two buttons. So I'll take the button tag and I'll say, let's give a capital count. I'll replicate this and I'll say reset, and this one is going to be reset button. Reset. I'll provide an ID to each of these buttons. So I'll take the ID and okay, let's do it. ID, and I say count, and this one is going to be reset. So we are done with the HTML part. Now let's move to the CSS and do the styling to our counting application. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to target my container and apply some custom styling to that. So I'll say container. So container, I'm selecting the class, and the very first thing I want to do is I want to provide, so now I will provide a width to my container. So the width I'm going to take is, let's say, 300 pixels. I'll save it, and the height I want to assign is going to be, let's say, 500 pixels, and not s. Let me save it. This is how it will look. Let me provide a background color. So I'm going to use this var, and here I have my background color. Now I want to provide a box shadow. So box shadows, I'm going to use this box shadows. So this is how it will look. Now I want to give a padding from 1 rem from all the sides. So this is how it will look. Now I want to provide a border radius is going to be border radius is going to be, let's see how it's look, 1 rem. Yeah, this looks perfect. What I can do, I can just give padding to be 2 rem. Yeah, this looks much better. So we are done with the container part. Now let's come to the application one, and I'll say dot container. I'll tap the container and then I will target the app. And what I want to do, I want to provide a padding a bit from left and right, not from the top and bottom. So what I will do, I'll say padding initially is going to be 0 from the top and bottom, and from left and right I'm going to assign, let's say, 0.5 rem. So this looks much better. So that's it for the application part. Now let's come here, and now I'm going to target the info container. So I'll say dot app dot info, and inside this, the very first thing I want to do, I want to set the display property to be flex. So I want my, in the demo one, I can see that this icon and this heading is both in the same line. So let me do that first. So what I will do, I'll say display is going to be flex. So this is how it will look, and align item to each center, because I want to give space to my icon from the text. So I'll say align item is going to be center, so everything would be in the middle. So that's it for the info part. Now let's come to the I tag. So what I will do, I'll target the info and I'll say I, not capital small. So now I want to increase the font size of the icon. So I'll say font size is going to be, let's say, 50 pixels. Yeah, this looks good. I'll do let's come back here, and whatever I'm padding I'm providing to this application, let's get rid of that. So this is how it's looking. I'm going to fix that later. So let's come here. So now what I want to do, I want to provide a background color to this. So I'll say background is going to be same, this icon color, I'm going to use it. This is how it will look. Now what I will do, I want to provide a color to the icon. So I'll use this color, and the color I want to use this main color. So this is how it will look. I want to provide a border radius to this as well. So border radius is going to be, let's say, 2 rem would be enough. 2 rem, yeah, this looks perfect. And I want to provide the padding from all the sides. So I can say take 1.1 rem. Yeah, this looks better. You can do one thing. If you want, you can replace this icon size as well a bit. So let's say 45 pixels. This looks quite small. Okay, we'll fix that later. So this is for the eye. And now what I want to give a margin to my icon from this text. So here I'll come here and I'll say margin is going to be, left is going to be, let's say, 1 rem is going to be the, oh sorry, I have to say right. So this is how it will look, 1 rem. And let me come here, let me decrease the font size a little further. It's too big, it's looking very weird. I can do it to 30. Yeah, this looks quite similar to this one. I can do one more thing. Let me increase the padding which I have assigned to, let's say, 0.5. Yeah, this looks perfect. So we are done with this title one, and what I can do is I can provide a margin from the bottom. So I can say bottom margin is going to be, let's say, 1 ram. So this is how it will look. Now let's start working on the count. So this count one. So let me copy this rapidly, and let's come back here. And what I will do, I'll take this count and I'll paste simply. The very first thing I want to do is I want to assign a width. So the width is going to be, let's say, 100%, and this is how it will look. And I want to assign a minimum height. So what I can do is height is going to be, say, let's 250 pixels. Yeah, this looks much better. Let me give a background color and see how everything's look. So let's give a quick background color. So this is how it's looking, everything. I can do one thing. I can provide a padding to this, let's say 1 ram. That would be enough. Yeah, this is how it's look. And what I can do in this, I can say display is going to be flex. I want to make everything in the middle, so I can say display is going to flex, and justify content is going to be center, and align item is going to be center. So that would be exactly in the middle of the container. So this square is looking really weird. I need to give a border radius. So I'll say border radius is going to be, let's say, 1 ram. You can use ram, you can use em, you can use pixels. It's totally up to you. And what I can do as well, I can give a margin from the top. So margin from top is going to be 1 ram. The container would be okay. Nothing is happening because I have to provide a position to be absolute. So let's just keep it the way it is. I can do it from here. I can come here in the information one, and from here I can increase the width. So this is how you can make it in the middle. I can do to this as well by providing absolute positions. So we are done with this, and now what I will do, I'll simply change the color because this is not what I want. I have my global color, so this is the color I want to use it. So I'll use my main color, and I will also provide a box shadow, so it will pop it up. So I'll say box shadow is going to be var, and this is the box shadow I want to look. So this is how everything is looking. Now what I want to do, I want to increase this size of the font. So I'll say count, and I'll tag h1, and I want to say font size is going to be, let's say, 150 pixels because I want to make it big. It's not working. What happened? Okay, here I have to not hi here 1, and this one is also going to be 1. And now the moment I will save, I have a big 1, big 0. You can increase it, you can decrease, it's totally up to you. I want to change the color to my primary color, so I'll use this color, and I will use this color, and this is the color I want to give to this one. And I also want to give the color, so I'll say color to this, and I give this to my heading. And now let's start working on the icons. So what I will do for that, so you remember in the HTML here I have given a class to our main container, so I'm going to target with that. So I'll say dot button button, and inside this, the very first thing I want to do is I want to provide a little bit margin from the top. So I'll say margin is going to be, let's say, 1 ram from the top. I think I have to increase a bit, so I'll say 2 ram. So this is how it's looks. So we'll do it further. Let's start styling the button. So I'll targeting the button tag, and I want to remove the outline. So I'll say outline is going to be none, so it would be none. And border is going to be, let's say, none. I don't want to have a border. And let's assign a background color to this as well. So I'll say which color should I use? I'll use the main color. And let's give a padding to this as well. So I'll give a 1 ram padding from all the sides. So this is how it will look. Let's increase a bit. So I'll provide a 1 ram from top and bottom, and from left and right I'm going to say 2 ram. Let's see how it's look. And let me give a box shadow, so the button will pop it up. So I'll say box, and shadow is going to be this one. box shadow. So this is how it's looking. What I can do in this, I can come here and I can say display is going to be, let's say, flex, and justify content is going to be space between. So the moment I will say space between, both button will go space apart. So I need to make it 3 from the top, and I want to increase the padding from top and bottom as well. I think it's look good. I'm just doing in this way. You got the concept that how you can do it. So if you want to do some other styling, you can do that as well. But let me provide a border radius to this. So let's come here, and the border radius is going to be 1 rem. So this is how it will look. We have a nice this one. I want to increase the font size a bit, though the font size is going to be 20 pixels. This is how it's look. Yeah, it's good. And I can say color is going to be main color. So this, oh sorry, icon color, I'll save it. This is how it's look. So we are done with the CSS part now. So now we are done with the CSS part. As you can see, it's looking quite similar to this one. You can do the changes in the size and everything, but I'm going with this UI. Now let's start writing the JavaScript. So the very first thing I want to do, I want to target these two buttons and this h1 tag where I'm going to display my counts. So how I can do that? So I'll say const, and I'll take the count. I have done one mistake here. I have assigned the same ID to both h1 and button. So here I will say count, and here I have to change, let's say, number. So this is the ID I'm providing. So let's say, and document dot get element by ID. So I have to access the ID of h1 tag. So I'll say number. This is the ID I have assigned. Let me quickly replicate this 3 times and change the value to this as well. So this one is going to be count, and here I have to change the ID to this count count. Let's make it small case. Yeah, they are like small case. And here this one is going to be reset. So here I have to change it to reset, and this one is going to be number. So I have targeted all these 3 elements for my HTMLs. Now I'm going to take one more variable that is going to be 0. So I'll say let initial count is going to be 0, and I'm going to increase that number on the click event. So I'll say let it 0, and this is the number variables I have taken. You can call it variable whatever you want. And this time what I want to do, I want to add an add event listener to this count button. How I can do that? So I can simply access my count button, count, and on this I'm going to add an add event listener. And what I want to listen, there are multiple variables, but for this applications I want to listen click. So I'll say click click, and I'm going to run an arrow function. In this I'm going to write my functionality. So what I want to do, so the moment I click on this count button, I want that this number is get increased. So I can do it in this way. I'll simply say num plus plus, and I'll save it. The moment I will click, as you can see, this number will start changing. So before I do that, let me provide a cursor here so I can easily able to identify that it's a button. So as you can see, we are getting this cursor. So the moment I will click, nothing is happening. Why? Let's console this, and here I'm not doing anything. So what I'm doing here, so the reason why nothing is happening, because here I made a mistake. It's a very silly one. Come on, Daulat, this is not. So here I'm increasing the value on click event, but I'm not assigning this value to anywhere else. So here, as you can see, we have assigned an ID to this h1 tag, which is a number. So what I will say, I'll simply come here and I'll say number dot inner text, because I have to assign this variable to my h1 tag, so it will display there. So I'll say equal to, and here I'm going to say num, and now it will work. So the moment I will click, it will increase the number. As you can see, it's working fine. It's going keep on and on. If I refresh, it's going on. But there is one problem. As you can see, right now I am having 2 0, but the moment I will click on this count, I'm getting only 1. But what I want here, I want to have one more 0 here till I not reach 10. So once I reach 10, number 10, I want to have the 2-digit automatically, but but when the number is below 10, I want to have a 0 here. So how I can do that? And that's very easy. How I can do that? Here I have to write a if statement and set a condition. So I'll say if inside this, I'm going to take this num, and I would say if it is less than 10, then I want to execute this. What? I'll say number dot inner text, and before that I will take a string. Inside this I'm going to take the 0, and I'm going to concatenate with the number. So this num, and here I will take a else statement, else, and this, let me cut this portions, and let's get back here. And now you will see the moment I will click on the count, it will start counting, but I will have a 0 as well. So working fine. So this is how you can add a 0, and you can add a multiple conditions here. It's totally up to you that how you want to modify your application, but I'm trying to make it very simple. So now let me write a function for this reset button. So whenever I click on this reset button, everything is get reset. So it's also very easy. How we can do that? I can say reset. I'm going to add an add event listener on that. What I want to listen click, CLICK, click. I will run arrow functions, and inside this, the thing I want to do is, first I want to make this num is going to be 0. This is, if I save like this, and if I keep do this, and if I click on reset, nothing will happen because I have to call the function. So how I can do that? This is how I have to do it. So here what I will do, I'll simply say, let me comment this and let me show you something else. If I do this, and if I come here and say number dot inner text, let's make it to num. If I do this, and if I click on count, if I click on here, it will become 6. Why? It will, this 0 will get removed. So this is what is happening, which is we don't want that. So what I can do, let me get rid of this, let me unlock this, and here I can do one more thing. I can say this, inside this bracket I'm going to take this variable. So I will take 20. So the moment I will click on this reset button, the value of this num is going to be 0, and everything's worked fine. So let me refresh it. Working fine. The moment I will click on reset, it will become 0, and it will start from 1 again. Start from 0 again. But if I don't do that, what will happen? As you can see, it's starting and nothing is happening because here I'm not setting up the value of this section. So let me comment this, and this is how it's working. Calculating, clicking on this 0. If I just remove this, click on this, if I click on this, it will, the value becomes 0, but the next counting will start from 6 as well. So if I click on reset, it will become 0, but when I click on this count button, it will start from 6. As you can see, 6. It's not starting from 1 because here I have not saying that num is 0 because that it is taking the same previous value. So to deal with that, here I have to uncomment this and this is how you can reset. So I hope you have understand that how you can able to build your own counting app. This one is a very simple project which give you a good understanding that how you can target an element, display certain text, write certain functionality. So again, I'm telling you, all these codes are given you in my website. Simply go to Daulat Hussain and JavaScript project section where you will able to find everything. Simply open a new tab,